I don't care what you do, there are some cars that you just can't sell. But sometimes it's the market. We're going to talk about both. This is Bid Nerds. Bidding starts now. Bid Nerds is your YouTube car game show. That's right, everybody. Welcome to a live episode of the Bid Nerds. We're going to gamify, bring a trailer, cars and bids, and P-Car market. My name is John Polnick. We're coming to you live from the Container Park in downtown Las Vegas with my partner Michael Deeb on the far side of the screen in San Francisco. And in the middle tonight, we have superfan Buddha in the studio tonight. What's up, you guys?
Mike Myers, what is going on? Hey, babe.
Michael, Deeb, and JP.
Thank you. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. I can't tell if there's a can of Hippie Sips in front of you or not because it's camouflaged with that Oregon Duck T-shirt.
Can you
right?
see it? Yeah. Can you see the can?
It's hippie camo.
Yeah.
All right, so he's going to try Hippie Sips. This episode is brought to you by Hippie Sips. So look at this. This is the first time Buddha's ever tried this, and he's an aficionado when it comes to cannabis drinks. What do you think, Buddha?
It tastes good. I was expecting it to be carbonated. It's not. It's just a lemonade. It just tastes like lemonade. It's fantastic.
Wow,
It's
that's
delightful.
awesome. We were kind of worried because it's like, I don't know, this is the first time Buddha's going to taste it. And is it going to be one of those situations where he's like, it's really
I'm going
good.
back. I'm going right back.
No, look, he's doing it again on purpose, so that means it is good. Shout out to our good friends at Hippie Sips. All right, so let's get after it, guys. If you are new to the show, what we do here is we analyze listings on Bring a Trailer, Cars and Bids, sometimes P-Car markets, and other auction sites as well. We analyze those listings, and then the fun part is that we make predictions. What will happen for those cars as a result of those listings? It's a lot of fun. You can play along. Make sure if you do play along, it's like The Price is Right. You put your bids in the comments below. And for those of you who are watching the show live in the Nerd Herd, we thank you. Thank you very much for hanging out tonight. My understanding is that the channel is optimized now for super chats. So I don't know if somebody wants to try the super chat thing. We'll read your question. So try this. You got to pay for it. Whatever. I'm going to put people's comments up anyway because we love you guys. But if you guys want to contribute to the show, apparently that's something that can be done. Don't ask me how to do it. You got to look down below. So let's get to it. Michael Deeb, you ready to do some bids? We always start off every episode by going over our last bids, so we hold ourselves accountable, right, Deeb?
A what? We don't hold ourselves accountable, do we? We have to? All right, JP, we are going to dive in. Go ahead.
No, please, go ahead.
We are going to dive into P-Car market where we found a really cool 2006 Porsche 997 Carrera 4-bodied coupe with a 6-speed manual transmission, but somebody took out the Porsche motor and dropped in a GM-sourced 6.2 liter LS3 V8 crate motor with a high-performance camshaft. JP, that's going to be good for well over 420 horsepower to the ground and something like 450 pound-foot of torque. And the beauty of it, JP, is that they retain the Porsche-derived 6-speed transmission as well as this motor bolting up to the driveline to operate the standard C4 four-wheel drive system. Add to that some very cool wheels. Looks like the painted brake calipers. We've got a Getty-designed fiberglass rear ducktail spoiler, which is a very handsome piece. And if you peer really closely, you might notice that front lower air dam and that rear lower valance are derived from a 997 GT3. So, JP, I think this car's got looks. It's got beautiful leather interior, 6-speed manual, but now you got all the power, the effortless power and torque of an LS3, and you, of all people, should know how cool that is. I was surprised, JP, that you were a bit more bearish on this car than I was. I picked it for you. I was pandering to my co-host and the creator of Bid Nerds. I thought you were going to throw yourself on the hood and be like, I should have never sold mine, but I didn't get any of that drama out of you. You were so bearish, it really bothered me. Classic.com tells us that a base 997.1 C4 is just a $39,000 car. I thought our car, with the mods and with the looks, would do well. I expected it to bring about $75,000. JP, you were over $10,000 below my bid, which tells me you really didn't believe that people would pay for the car that we have here on P-Car Market. Your bid, just $64,997. Buddha, I don't remember your bid, but I know you know what we're talking about here. So my first question to you is, do you feel it yet? Is it working?
Yeah, on this car, no. On JP's car, yes. With the just like an LS Swap 911 needs to be like a dirty, not just rode out car. This is too pretty to have had an LS Swap done to. It looks fantastic. I was down there with JP. I don't remember exactly what I put in the chat on Wednesday. Probably around 65.
65. So you're right at the JP level, and also bearish on the car. Well, you two can suck a hippie sip because our car did two things. It hammered for $72,800 and it sold on P-Car Market. What is happening? So there you go. That's an outstanding result, I think, for the seller, especially if he had talked to you guys in advance of this. He would have been blown away. But I kind of feel like the car got to where I expected it to. So my first question to you, JP, is, do you think a better presentation, because this presentation is pretty lousy, and I don't even think they had a driving video if I remember this listing correctly.
No, they did, but it wasn't a very good one.
Okay, a better presentation and a BAT listing would have yielded more than $73,000. Did they leave money on the table on their way to selling the car on P-Car Market? Crow is on its way for both you guys.
Yeah, this car did very well, and there's one reason and one reason only, and that's because Porsche sucks. Okay, there it is. I've said it. Porsche absolutely does not know what the F they're doing. Modern Porsches are pieces of shh. This particular car, everyone in the chat is going, oh, if Porsche would have made a V8, if V8 was good for the car, well, they would have done it a long time ago in the factory. No, bullshit. They should have. This is the way the car should have been. The V8 is the proper engine for this car. I don't know what. Look, here's the proof. This particular car, this is a, what year is it? 2006, just a run-of-the-mill C4, right? It's not even an S. Yep. If this engine was blown up, which it would be at 135,000 miles, and someone took it to their mechanic, they would spend around $30,000 to rebuild that engine. Minimum, right? For a 3.6, right? This is, and so you can, most people in that situation wind up spending $40-something thousand on a 4-liter, which, okay, great. You do that to this car, and at the end of the day, you have a 997 that's rough. It's got rock chips and all kinds of dings everywhere, and it has a fresh M96 engine. Great. You know what it's worth? 50 grand, right? That's all it's worth. 50 grand. This car with the LS3 in it wound up getting over $20,000 more. People want this. People want a reliable engine. People are sick and effing tired.
GM is true. LS is, every time a track day they blow up, GM just recalled 600,000. Every V8 they put in any vehicle, they've recalled.
Certainly the modern, the most recent ones, absolutely. But the LS3 is freaking bulletproof. The regular old LS3s, sorry, they work. They work great. And even if they do blow up, they blow up every bit as often as, let's say they blow up as often as an M96 engine. It costs you half as much to rebuild it. Who cares? It's throwaway. This and to have that much more torque and power. Look, yeah, I have had one of these, an air-cooled one, or it wasn't an air-cooled one, but it was an air-cooled body. Right. And having that shape with that kind of power is a lot of fun. 400 or 500 horsepower. That's GT3 power, and it cost you a fraction of that. I'm so over stupid modern Porsches. Buddha, what do you think of that result?
I think he got all the money. Yeah, I agree with Deeb. He got all the money.
Yeah, for darn sure. Yeah. He could have gone to Burger King here and gotten himself some pink slime chicken sandwiches, and now at this point.
Buddha, do you agree with JP's take that by not rebuilding the 3.6 that came with this car, but throwing in an LS, you've now taken this, sort of sad 997, and it's enhanced, kind of like you're going to be in about 20 minutes. What do you think? Do you agree with that?
I mean, enhanced for us that want to go drive Overton on the weekends. For a normal Porsche guy, I don't think it's enhanced.
Yeah, for a driver. Oh, you don't?
Yeah. No, for a driver, it's enhanced. For the regular guy that
that's
wants to go to like the PCA breakfast on Sundays.
Yeah, but who cares about that guy?
That's who's on Peak Car Market.
That car's not for him.
Oh man,
that car's not for him. And Hippie Sips is not for him either. All right, JP, I think we're ready to move on to the next one.
All right, what's the next car on the list? What do you guys think of the results of this LS3 swap Burger King special? Let us know in the comments. And what do we got next?
Every once in a while, I volley one of these across your bow just to see if you'll bite. And it was my great pleasure that you and I agreed that this 2014 SRT Viper TA 1.0 is a badass mother chicken. With only 9,000 miles, they basically took the Viper coupe and gave it, again, all these sort of subtle enhancements, a little more aero, a lot more suspension and tire and brake. And then I'm not sure, but I think they might have gotten a teeny bit more horsepower out of the motor. They went ahead and painted them all orange and numbered them, JP, taking a page right out of the Porsche Cars North America book of marketing. Our car, number 54 of just 93, and that number I will say is restrained, has just 8,000 miles and had a very nice listing out of Scottsdale, Arizona. JP, I do kind of think these are collectible, and this one with 2 sets of black wheels and fair mileage and excellent condition is in a collectible condition, basically. There's the gist of it. All right, John, our friends at classic.com tell us that these TA 1.0s bring about $165,000 in the secondary market. I thought this car with a few miles on it might struggle to get to that number, so I thought 155 would be where it would get at Hammer. You took the under at just $145,000. Buddha, what do you think of an orange Viper, and what was your bid on this car a couple days ago?
I agreed with JP's take that I think orange is really tough on vehicles, and this one nailed it. This is a stunning car. They are absolute performers on the track. I mean, you really want to go tear up Spring Mountain, get you this. I didn't really know anything about the values on these, and again, don't remember what I put in the chat, but it was about, I'd say 150.
150, right in between us, and that's a fair bid. Our car did very well. JP had hammered right on Classic's average number at $165,778. The car sold there on 31 bids, and he got a second set of wheels, HREs, which are probably forged and worth, thousands of dollars. I'd say that's well sold. I'd also say it's probably well bought. So congratulations to everybody, including me, because I'm in for the win. JP, what do you make of that result?
Actually, Deeb, I did beat you. Randy, our record keeper, says I bid 162 and would have taken that win. So thank you, Randy.
Man, bow to the king. Randy, don't you have to be somewhere? Thanks.
Cheers.
Yeah, get Buddha a straw for that hippie sips. He's here to just ruin us tonight. Look, did I mention that Porsches suck? I mean, this particular car, $160,000, $170,000. What do you get in modern Porsche that has this kind of performance and this kind of show-stopping looks? I mean, you show up anywhere with this bright color. This is an exotic car, and I know that there are Porsches that are technically maybe faster, in that price range, but you're going to have a tough time finding one that can beat this car. And if you do, it's probably going to be a clapped out version of some GT3. This thing, man, this is a lot of bang for the buck. And boy, I just think, you can run something like this for much longer on a much lower budget. And not that this is a low budget car by any means. This is an expensive car, but Porsche ownership, modern Porsche ownership, I'm just so over it. Screw modern Porsches. Deeb, I'm excited about that. I wish I bought it. I should have bought it.
Yeah, pretty cool car. Where you at, Buddha? What'd you think of that result at 162? Since you basically nailed it like Miss Chloe.
Yeah, I think he got the exact class average. People know what he had, and he knew what he had, and I'm sure he and the buyer are happy.
There you go.
Anthony from Our Smith says, just buy a Corvette Z06. Yeah, the problem with that is those are stupid looking. Those are I don't care what Corvette, I don't care how great it is, they look terrible. We do have a good friend of ours who just got an older Corvette, and I commend him for that. So you know about that?
It's
you saw
mint. It's mint. Oh, he brought it to Cars and Cafe.
I didn't want to spoil it if he didn't bring it. Yeah, so our good friend Sahan got himself a Vet.
Yeah, JP, remember in Monterey, you got to drive the 996 I recently picked up,
Yep.
and while you were driving it, it kind of felt a little bit like a new car. It was just so clean.
Yeah.
He bought a Corvette in that exact same condition. Just outstanding. Looks like it came off the showroom floor, and he's so smitten with it. He's very excited. It's bright red. You can't miss it. And he's definitely gonna leave it alone. So it'll make some noise very soon.
Congrats to our good friend
nice,
Sahan. Persian Pillow on the IG if you guys want to go give him a shout out. I don't know if he's watching tonight or not, but
he's got the Cheshire cat grin. You know what I mean? Like he's just
he can
so
sell
happy.
it too. Look, the problem is like, dopey looking middle-aged white guy with a gray beard in that car just looks so cliche. I can't pull off an ironic look, right? Whereas, he's a Zoomer, or no, he's a millennial, right? So, he's Persian, he's this Iranian guy, but he's all cool looking, and in that car, everyone's going, wait, what? Who was that? That guy does not look like the profile that you would expect for a C5. So
Habibi.
What's that?
I said Habibi.
Yeah. So he's looking cool in that thing. He can sell it. All right, let's move on. What's the next car on the list?
All right, JP, right out from underneath me in my own backyard on Bring a Trailer, a 1988 BMW M6 with 95,000 miles on the odometer, listed out of San Francisco, California. Subtle upgrade from the 16-inch BBS wheels to a 17-inch BBS wheel. So it looks like stock, but it is a little bit taller, and it has a little bit deeper lip, little deeper dish. So I really like that subtle upgrade to the car. Otherwise, the car appears to be stock and well cared for, despite having about 100,000 miles on the odometer. JP, the M5s from this era and the really clean M6 from this era are starting to bring some serious collector money. I thought this car here would be basically in that same breath, given the condition and the fact that it is unmolested. John, our friends at classic.com, tell us that the average selling price of this generation of the M6 is $47,000. It's interesting because I really like the car, but then my bid was pretty bearish. $38,000 was my bid, and you took the under from there at $36,006. I think when we were looking at it, JP, it was sitting at like 19 grand, and that's why I was having a hard time saying it would get up to the classic average. So, Buddha, we've got a bit of a miler, but it's super clean and still very original. What do you think the M6 would have hammered for on BAT out of the Bay Area a few days ago?
I'm gonna guess that I guessed in the low 30s. Let's say 32. I just love this thing.
Randy, tell us Buddha's bid real quick.
Randy will put it in the chat. I'll talk about the car in the meantime. The BBS wheels on this thing, and just in this era, the low belt line, the big greenhouse on this, it's just in profile. There's nothing you can buy today that looks this good from the side.
Yeah, or from BMW. Hey, JP, have you driven one of these? Have you driven an M6 from this era? I've never driven one, and it was like when I was in high school, the 944 Turbo and a black M6 were like my favorite cars. So I thought that was the bomb,
Yeah, what was it? The beginning
are they good?
Was it? Yeah, no, they're great. I mean, look, they're big, they're heavy, but with a manual, the weight is kind of belayed by having a third pedal. Driving, I do think they make automatic versions, and those are not that great. I mean, they're fast, but fast for the standard of the time. But they really do feel great. But it's not really the kind of car that you really want to rip up let's call it the Angeles Crest or a swoopy road. They would be very good on the North Shore Drive here for our friends here in Vegas, the big long swoopy sweepers where you're just like kicked back. If it was legal to drink hippie sips while you could drive one of these, that would probably be pretty chill, but we don't recommend that.
There goes our sponsor.
It would JP, it would fall out of the shitty Porsche cup holder.
I know this thing doesn't have a cup holder. This is way before cup holders, man. There were no cup holders in this era. Look, BMW really, they just really ruined their heritage cars, man. The BMW has done such a bad job lately with making cars, and just all their everything sucks about modern BMW. The only car company that's worse, in my opinion, is Jaguar for ruining the value of their older cars. So this thing, I was not very optimistic. What ended up happening as a result of this listing?
All right, JP. So good news, bad news. It did hammer for $40,250. But it failed to sell at that number on 41 bids. I got to tell you, JP, even though I felt like this car would hammer for 38, because of the listing, because like you noticed that the rondelle was missing from one of the wheels. It's like, why not? You know, these are, as JP likes to name them, unforced errors. In this case, not by the platform, but by the seller. Come on, man. You've got a great collectible car in good condition. Finish the job, straighten out your wheels, hire a photographer, and then do a better job listing. Or tell you what, call the bid nerds and we'll get you $60,000 for the car that's sitting there. I think that's a really nice car, and it was a super poor effort. And so the result speaks for itself. I'm not surprised it failed at 40.
Yeah, and it's a bummer too, because I feel like this is the type of car that should be a $60,000, $70,000 car. We see those Mercedes, you know, the big of this era, bringing all the money in the world, but just classic BMWs, we have just seen them circling the bowl. They're almost as bad as, I don't know, like American muscle cars from the 70s. It's just, it seems like there is no young timer appeal, where this car should be a young timer type car, right? I mean, it's right there in the late 80s. Maybe it's because the styling and design sensibilities of this car in 1988 is more reflective of their 70s design language than it is of their 80s and 90s design language. Obviously, the next generation of 8 Series was a much different car. So I don't know. What do you think of that?
E36 M3 in original red condition with 95,000 miles might bring the same money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And is a better overall car to drive. I mean, if you want to drive as an enthusiast, but the M6, great. What a great cruiser. All right, let's move on from this one. What do you guys think of the results of the M6? Let us know in the comments. What's the next car? Michael Deeb.
All right, JP, our good friend Kev, the photographer, shot this listing for a client out here in Fairfax, California, which is in Marin County. Feast your eyes on a single-family owned 1966 Mercedes-Benz 230 SL, a.k.a. the Pagoda. Our car has a 2.3-liter inline six with a 4-speed automatic, but it looks handsome in the blue paint with blue vinyl upholstery and a blue soft top. The car also comes with the factory removable hard top and a set of 14-inch steel wheels with, you guessed it, blue hubcaps. Sitting on a California black paint and single-family ownership from new, this car just looks handsome. The bummer here is I still, you know, like I want to jump out of my skin going, why are you selling this car at Halloween? You should have sold this in the spring or the summer, not the fall and not the winter. And so we wondered aloud, JP, how far this little automatic 230 SL with very handsome photos could do as it listed on BAT just the other day. John, our friends at Classic.com, tell us the average selling price for a Pagoda is $55,000 from that early generation. I thought this car would fizzle out sort of just below that number because, again, we're trying to push a convertible going right into the holidays. So my bid, $50,230. I apparently stole your bid, JPC. You went down $1,000 and took the bid of $49,230. Buddha, what'd you think of the little 230 SL, and what would have been your bid for this the other day on BAT?
I thought it was a beautiful car. The blue wheels, blue interior, just a fun little runabout. I was trying to get into the ad. Has this been like restored, or has this just been kept that well by this one family the entire time?
That's a really good question.
That we don't have an answer for. Yeah, okay, nice dead air. All right, that's a question that we know nobody knows the answer to.
So I'm going to say that I had bid somewhere, but I'll say 53. It was around you guys.
There you go, 53. I like that, and that would have put you as high man, and that would have got you the win. JP, did you catch this result? Our car hammered for $84,000, where it sold on 69 bids. My buddy Kev got stuck coming home from Sacramento on a one-lane highway that they closed for almost an hour, and he and his girlfriend were stuck in the car in the middle of the night on a weeknight. So when I talked to him this morning, he was out of it. A couple hours later, I saw this close, and I called him, and I was like, buddy, your car just brought $84,000. He goes, wow. He was so tired and so not cued into what we were talking about. He goes, is that good? I'm like, that's outstanding. Are you kidding? Like, that's 2 SLs in a row that you've sold way above market value. You're on a roll, buddy. He's like, oh, yeah, great. But I tried to cheer him up. But that really is impressive for an automatic and for the time of year. I'm not saying the car there isn't worth the money. It's beautiful. And again, I think the color sort of drove this car, because where would you go to replicate this colorway and this condition? And again, in this instance, the provenance, knowing that it's been with the same family since new. Well, one family, yeah. So it's pretty flipping awesome. But at this time of the year, JP, and an automatic gearbox, I think that's a standing ovation. $84,000, all the money, well done. What do you make of that, John?
Yeah, if this seller would have had a reserve that was that high, I would have said that this is an unsellable car, especially at the end of October. But boy, did he prove us wrong, and I'm glad to see it. Are Mercedes convertibles, are those an opportunity right now? Should we be digging through Craigslist to try to find, late 90s and early 2000 SL500s? I mean, I can't believe your SL500 on the last episode brought 25 grand, and this thing's bringing 80. Ooh. Holy cow, what is going on this? And I think it's just because Mercedes still makes cars that people want, right? People still dream about modern Mercedes because they make things that people are like, oh yeah, people know what an SLR is, or the GTs and stuff like that. So it keeps lifting the values of their heritage cars, their older classic cars. And you know what else it does? Is it sells a lot of parts for Mercedes. And I think that's one of those things that Mercedes and Porsche kind of figured out. That's a way that they stay relevant, and that's a way that they stay profitable in a world where it's very difficult to make money in the car business anymore. What do you guys think of that?
It's a good take.
It's a good take. All right, we'll just go with that. Okay, yeah.
Mercedes, JP, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but as Mercedes is getting into the classic business, they essentially have a massive warehouse in LA. So if you want a classic part, or if the dealer needs a classic part for a car that happens to be on their lift, they call a single place where one guy can go to that row and be like, yep, I got 6 of them. You want one? And then they send it out. They're not doing it through the dealer with all the extra training and all the extra marketing. They're just like, yeah, we're in the classic parts business. Call our single facility in North America, and we'll let you know if we have one in stock or if there's one overseas, and it'll just take 2 weeks longer. Yeah, pretty genius, though.
Our friend Gary Lee is saying that these have always been popular, and I agree with him. But the things that are popular right now are the young timer cars, the cars that are popular with the the millennials and maybe some of the younger Gen Xers. This car is not it. This is definitely not a young timer. Young timers are not out looking for 60s cars. This is solidly in the boomer world. So yeah, I think the boomers really love these, but somehow it's crossing over. Somehow it's keeping its value. So maybe this is winding up on the young timers' radar. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let us know. We still have a couple more cars to cover from the last episode before we get to new predictions. So what do we got?
Hey, JP, our buddy Chris Carbine had a pair of really cool late model cars running on Cars and Bids. The first one was a 2018 Porsche Panamera. This is a base Panamera, but it was the new generation. Our car showing just 27,700 miles from new and presented in the handsome burgundy red metallic colorway out of Chris's shop in New Orleans. JP, our friends at classic.com tell us that the average selling price of this early gen base Panamera is $35,000. With that in mind, I thought Chris's car in the fair mileage, excellent condition, and a rare shade could bring 36. You went with conservatively with Classic's average at $35,000. Buddha, do you remember what you bid on the burgundy Panamera the other night?
I don't. I'm going to say 32 and just give Chris Carbine props. If anyone can just take a base Panamera and wring all the juice out with these assets and his reputation, congratulations, Chris Carbine.
Buddha, good news, bad news. Chris did in fact hammer the Panamera at $32,750. But that wasn't enough to make the deal, our car failing to sell at that number at 26 bids. If you're interested in the Panamera, reach out to Chris Carbine and remind him that you heard about it on the Bid Nerd so that we get our official kickback. Okay. Yeah. JP, there was another car that he ran, and that was the 2021 Lexus LC 500 convertible. This is a V8, and this has way more dramatic lines than the Panamera does. Our car with just 21,000 miles in ultra white with the toasted caramel interior. 5-liter V8 is going to make tons of power, and you got an automatic 10-speed, so that car is just going to stay on the boil once you rev it out. It looks exciting. There's just a thing about these that's like the kiss doesn't promise the affair that you're thinking of. Like it's a really sexy and dramatic looking car, but they're still Grand Touring cars. These aren't sports cars. With that in mind, these things do bring a bit of money. Our friends at Classic tell us that the average selling price for one in the secondary market is $82,000. I thought Chris's car had a chance to get to 78. JP, your bid just below me at 75.5. Buddha, what do you think of the 4-seat drop top Lexus?
I actually had an opportunity to drive one of these. They sound fantastic. That V8, you can sort of kick it over into like a sport mode, and the interior, most things in the range, you sit inside one Mercedes, they kind of feel the same inside. Same with Lexus, except for this car. This is like a different level. It feels like you should be in a Bentley, like a $200,000 car. The interior on these is amazing. So I went a little above you guys. I think I was like around 80 on this car. Good listing, Chris.
Buddha likes the Lexus, and Buddha drove one, so that tells you if you have any interest, you should probably put yourself behind the wheel of one. At the end of the day, it's a Toyota. The Terrace will give you top dollar for it. JP, our car hammered for $74,000 where it sold on 36 bids. So too late, folks. That one is gone. But if you're interested in the Panamera, give Chris a call. JP, anything to make of that result?
Well, I mean, it's funny because it's like we're talking about unsellable cars. I feel bad that Chris wasn't able to move the Panamera, but someone's going to buy it. There's so much car for no money, and that's the it's like if you want something like that, do not go and buy a brand new one. Buy that one. Buy the one Chris has, and you've already kind of maxed that depreciation curve, and you're going to get a really, really nice car. Not the Mercedes, but the Lexus on the other hand, I'm with you, Buddha. You're right. You look at those interior details and it's just like, this really does look like an Aston or something like that. I just wish the exterior wasn't so whiz bang. I did want to mention, Deeb, you said on the last episode that I just don't get the LFA, or I'm not on board. I do love the LFAs. I just don't think that they should be $1 million cars. I think they should have made more of them for less money and done the economy of scale thing so they could have gotten more of them on the road. Anyways, all right, what do you guys think of those two cars? Let us know. We're going to be right back with new predictions right after this.
Hey guys, you're probably looking at your watch and wondering if Bid Nerds will ever end. So you better talk to our friends at Our Smiths to make sure your Rolex, Tag Heuer, AP, or any fine timepiece is in tip-top shape. Our Smiths, fine Swiss repair.
All right, we are back. I am looking at the watch, and it is time for the Our Smiths car of the day. But first, Buddha, how's that Hippie Sips coming?
Fantastic.
What's it? Is there an aftertaste? Is it
no? It's just sort of. Just tastes pretty much like lemonade. I don't taste any cannabis in it at all. This is the wild berry lemonade. They've got different flavors, and it's 10 milligram servings, which is enough to where it might knock one of you guys on the ground. But
I'm a lightweight for sure.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, Hippie Sips is redefining social drinking with cannabis-infused organic beverages. And, Buddha's looking good over there. He's matching the can. So go ahead, go to Bid Nerds. I'm sorry, not Bid Nerds. Go to hippiesips.com and see if you can get yourself a case of these things sent to you. And make sure you go to the website and just check out their website. Buddha will send you. We need a promo code for Buddha. That'll be our promo code. It'll just be Buddha, right?
Yeah. Buddha,
I think JB is watching right now, so he's probably putting numbers. Yeah. He's going to put some numbers in, and he'll beat us again. He beats us again.
Yeah.
Cheers, JB.
All right, guys. Okay, it is time for new predictions. So, you know what? Actually, before we get to predictions, I do have an announcement to make. We have a big event coming up this Tuesday in Las Vegas, right here. If you are coming to town for SEMA, if you're coming to visit us, make sure you reach out and you come down to the Container Park this Tuesday night for Cars und Creators. We got the creative juices flowing here, and we finally got the managers of the downtown Container Park to let us do a car show in the park, inside the park. That's right. So you've got Buddha right there. Point to where
right here.
it's going to be right outside that window. That's right. We are super, super stoked to do this. We have amazing cars lined up to put in the display. It is going to be so cool in here. If you are a creator and you're going to be in town, make sure you bring your camera. This is going to be the place to take pictures and video. It's going to be way better than actual SEMA where there's just all the cars are jammed next to each other. And these cars are going to be laid out in a way that will just be absolutely beautiful. A lot of friends are coming from all over to this party. Hey, look at that. Curious Office. Our friend Kelly's going to be in town, so he'll be here with his camera, I'm sure. So make sure you come down to Cars Un Creators this Tuesday night. We're also going to do a live stream, you guys. So we're going to have the studio open. It's going to be an open house studio, and I'm just going to go on Bid Nerds, and I'm just going to have, creators coming in and out of the studio all night, and we'll probably patch some people in as well from out of town. So make sure if you're not coming to Las Vegas that you dial or you tune into the YouTube channel and watch our live stream. We'll make something cool out of that. All right, guys, let's finally get to some predictions. What's the first car on the list, Deeb?
All right, JP. Selected for our guest of honor tonight by Buddha himself on Cars and Bids is a modified 2003 Porsche 911 Turbo Coupe with a 6-speed manual transmission. Now, this is basically ground zero for the first Metzger engine to go into mass production. But this car's got some roof modifications, some AIM modifications, and some Manthey Racing modifications to produce something that is probably absolutely screaming. We are assuming that this car is making about 550 horsepower from all the packages with the roof turbochargers and AIM performance. It's got a set of 18-inch BBS wheels. And if you squint and look really closely, that car is not black. It's actually midnight blue metallic. And then it's got like the roof steering wheel and a few other, goodies and appendages. There's some rocker panels. Looks like a GT2 front air dam. There's a lot going on here. But JP, before I even ask Buddha why he selected this car, I have to confess something to you that is going to make you go crazy. Our good friend Lucas, the bid turn, made some notes for us on this car. And the seller, JP, the seller goes on and asks, I've been getting a lot of grief about the photos. I'm going to try to see if Cars and Bids will pause the auction or let me delist it so I can retake the photos.
Well, at least he's self-aware.
Oh, I hope Cars and Bids is watching because I feel like, JP, I've heard that somewhere before. So I have nothing else to say. No further questions. Your witness. JP, what do you got?
Yeah, I guess we're finally getting through to some people here. I mean, that's interesting. That's interesting to see that the seller is not just getting defensive. Usually when a seller is attacked like that on these platforms, it's very easy when they don't have someone like the Bid Nerds representing them, because we do represent sellers all the time. If you are looking to sell a car, give us a call or reach out to us on bidnerds.biz. We'll help you get a happy ending for every auction. But yeah, a lot of times that's one of the problems with trying to do this yourself. You think, oh, I'm just going to go take some pictures. I could my phone. They told me when I went to the Verizon store that I've got 3,000 megapixel 50K whatever bullshit on your phone, so it's got to take great pictures, right? Well, no, the phone might have the capability, the camera might be a good camera, but that doesn't mean you're going to get good pictures if you don't have a photographer that knows what to do with the tool. Just like trying to drive this car fast around a track, this car might be very, very capable of getting a great Nürburgring time, but if you put me behind the wheel of this, I'll probably crash it in the wall halfway through. So you need to hire a real driver to get the best times. It's just, that's actually very interesting. I'm glad to hear that the seller is kind of going, yeah, maybe I'm going to try something different. Buddha, what do you think of that?
Yeah, that's actually, Deeb asked why I picked it. Part of the reason was because the assets were so bad on such quote unquote a special car. And then he just, the way that when I was reading the title, he's throwing roof parts at this, AIM parts at this, Manthey parts. Deeb said all the various appendages put on there, and that made me realize it does have ball sack leather. I picked this car because I thought it was poorly in poor taste. Some of the stuff that he threw at it, high mileage on a desirable car, but just terrible assets. So I thought it might be food for fodder for the bid nerds.
All right, Deeb, what's it going to bring?
Yeah, just to back up what you're saying, JP, like, listen, I've been in the business for, God, man, I'm on my third decade of being in Highline car sales. I'm not a photographer. And if JP and I go out to shoot a car, I stand behind him and I open my ears and wait for him to ask me to do something because I'm the unskilled labor. You have to hire a pro. I know exactly what the good assets are supposed to look like, but I don't know how to make them. And I can't fake it with my cell phone. So I don't even bother. When I shoot a car to submit it, as soon as my photography furnishes all the photographs, I tell BAT to take down my cell phone photos and only use the professional shots. And that's how you get the results. And again, when you put JP and I together, we know what we're doing and we can get you top dollar. And we certainly could have done a better job representing this, pretty cool car. I mean, this is a go fast car and it's going to be a lot of value for the money. The question is it going to sell and hammer? So Buddha, great selection for us. And Lucas, great looking out, buddy. Those were great notes.
I wonder what Cars and Bids said if he reached out to him, was like, hey, can you pause it? Let me get some new pics. If they just said nope,
yeah,
or if
they won't, no way. Yeah, no,
yeah.
They'll say no. They will absolutely say no because what you do is you heartbreak your audience that thought they were in with a chance at 55
gotcha.
or 42. So you can't disappoint your masses to make your seller happy because, by the way, once he gets his money, he's gone. You know what I mean? And if he's a professional, he wouldn't have made a mistake or asked that question. So the answer is no. Anyways, JP, our friends at Classic.com tell us that the average selling price of a 996 Turbo with a manual transmission in the secondary market is $73,000. Our car is sitting here, poor assets and all, with all the hot mods and an interesting color, at $55,000 by way of 18 bids, and it closes tomorrow. JP, this is really, really hard. I'm just kind of leaning into the car despite the representation, just a little bit. So my bid might surprise you at $63,996. And I think if it gets to my number, I actually think if it gets to 60, it probably sells. But there's a few people on it already, and it's still a lot of car for the money. And I was surprised that when I looked at Classic, the average manual 996 Turbo is 73. That's higher than I thought. I thought it would have been like just 65. So if the average one's 73, this one's got to bring 63, right? So 63,996 to you, JP. I'm kind of all in on this one, despite everything we talked about. Where are you going to come in at? It's 55 now, closing tomorrow.
This is a really tough one because at 90, this thing was 93,000 miles. So it's about 7,000 miles away from driving off a cliff in value. No one pays anything for 996s over 100,000 miles. I mean, the cars just become worthless at that point. It really is kind of sad. These are great. I mean, the fact that this is a turbo is great. They do have a much longer shelf life than a naturally aspirated one. But when we're talking about photos, I think it was Ross Churchhouse, a good friend in over on the other side of the planet watching right now. He was saying, hey, is the stance off? And, you're looking at these photos and there's a lot of wheel gap in there. Not only should he have taken better assets, but he should have just taken some time to have this car sorted. It wouldn't have cost much money to go and have the coilovers this thing has mad adjustment on all. He's got all kinds of suspension bits. So get the stance right. And then when it comes to photography, the problem with shooting it poorly is that, let's see here, there was a shot of the wheels. Sorry, guys, I should have teed this up a little bit better. Okay, here we go. So this is a really good example of what happens when you don't know how to shoot something. Okay, so here's a wheel. This car is suffering from poor wheel gap, and it's accentuated by the fact that the guy has the flash on his phone going off so that he makes sure he has enough exposure on the wheel spokes, but he's also exposing the big, huge space between the tire and the fender, and you can see the coilover back there, and the wheel liner is all scratched up and stuff. It just looks absolutely horrible.
Bad angle, too.
Yeah, it's a terrible angle.
That's the only good picture in the batch. Go
the
back
whole
to
thing, there you go.
The whole,
yeah,
that's
you got
one
a little
good picture.
Little depth of field there, and then the interior's overexposed too. And again, on that light gray, that's just the worst interior color on the 996. It just can't look good. That albino ball sack just is not being
supple ball sack leather.
Supple albino ball sack is what we got here.
Palm Springs ball sack leather.
Oof, yeah, exactly. This is the kind of car that, you know, the guys at P-Car Market, they go to, they're cruising the old folks' homes, and every time a hearse leaves, they're like, oh, let's go to the funeral. I heard that guy's got a Porsche. We can represent it on P-Car Market. That's our friends over there in Oyster Bay.
God.
Okay, so what was your bid? It was what, 64?
63,996 to you, JP. We're at 55 now.
Shocked it's at 55 at all. I mean, I get this car. I know all the parts are expensive and everything like that, but and I'm sure this thing's a beast. But it's just there's just so much wrong with this thing. I'll go over. No, I'm not going to go over you, but I'll go 59,996 and hand it to Buddha.
I'm going to come in
under
under
you. You might get a Yahtzee, JP.
I'm going to go 58,996.
That's
all right. Look at you.
I just don't see it getting much more than what it's at. All right, what do you guys think of this?
One or two more Bears.
Yeah, man, Ty. All right, moving on. What do we got next?
All right, we're on a roll with Buddha. So Buddha picked another car for us. I guess he knew he was going to make an appearance tonight. Man, oh man, did he prime the cylinder?
Well, when you drink hippie sips, it allows you to see the future. I don't know if it says that in the small print. You got to read the can. I don't know how it's a claim I'm making. That's been my personal observation. They're not going to back that up, but I'm just saying you can see the future. Okay, moving. What's the first car? Sorry.
If you can see the future, you drink too much. Also on Cars and Bids is a 1997 Volkswagen Eurovan Camper running no reserve. This one-owner Winnebago-built camper is reviewed by Doug DeMiro. Our car is showing 75,800 miles, which is incredibly low miles for any Volkswagen van, and is listed on a Clean California out of San Diego. About the only thing I didn't like about this car, Buddha, was that it was equipped with the automatic 4-speed and not the manual transmission. But this generation,
you could never get a manual.
Not on the VR6.
Oh,
but
is that right?
On the 5-cylinder, you could, but not the VR6.
Well, there you go. Thank you. Well, that I
and not on the camper.
Thank you. At least I knew that the thing was 2-wheel drive, right, JP? JP, our car has the 2.8 liter VR6 engine. It is front wheel drive, looks to be in excellent condition. And the question I have is, why are you selling it? You haven't put your 300,000 miles and a Subi swap in it yet. So private party, Arctic white with gray. This is a nice, no nonsense camper. And man, JP, do you remember when these were bringing like 50 grand during 20 and 21? Man, times have changed. I don't even think this one hits 20 when it hammers tomorrow. JP, what do you like about the Eurovan with like low mileage and it's not all beat up yet?
I mean, van life is so 2021. That is not the time to be selling a van. Look, there's a little road that goes up into the mountains, and there's a perfect campground next to a gurgling stream or a little lake somewhere. And I can see, a nice family going out there with their dog and just having a great weekend. They're cooking up their trout that they caught in the lake, and they're just having a lovely time. And then they pack everything up, and they're ready to leave, and this thing won't start because something broke. And the van has to stay there, and now they have to get the Rangers to come and get them, and their child starves, and their dog gets lost. This is heartbreak right here. These things are such piles of shit. These are garbage. These are absolute months. Do not. Yeah, I know people say that they get a lot of miles out of them, but those transmissions break constantly. They have little electric gremlins all over the place. These are not the Subi swap vans of like the old Vanagons that have the flat fours in the back. This is a front engine. This is basically it's almost like a Dodge Voyager or something like that. I mean, they're just absolutely junk. The 5-cylinder at least was more of a simple setup, and you could get them with the manuals with the weekenders, but not the Westies like this one. So I don't know, Buddha. Did you say you had one of these?
I owned one, so I'll go into. I'm going to disagree with you slightly on certain parts. So I don't think it's going to break at the campground. These are, when you go to Europe, Volkswagen transporters are every plumber's van, ambulance, tow truck. These things last mechanically. There were 2 campers built by Volkswagen. This is the first year of the VR6. Before that, it had the N-Line 5. And you could just go to a junkyard and get a turbo off an old Audi and bump that from like 110 to 150. These had 100 40 horsepower. Still not a lot when you're dragging this weight. I know I want to go quick for you, JP.
No, that's fine.
2 campers. So the one that was made by sort of Volkswagen themselves, the Westfalia, was called some people call it a weekender. It had a pop top, but that was it. There was a bed on the bottom and a pop top. These were vans that were sent. Volkswagen just sent white passenger vans to Iowa, and Winnebago ripped out the passenger van interior and put in this full, like, it's a full camper. There's a furnace, there's a refrigerator, stove, sink, full kitchen, all of it. You can dry dock without being plugged into some campground and run all that stuff off the built-in propane tank. Nothing like if you're camping, just reaching over and flipping on, like your house thermostat, the furnace, and it gets the van all warm before you jump up. So that's the shit that was unreliable. The Volkswagen drivetrain part was pretty reliable.
Rubbish, man. On the VR6, you're out of your mind.
I had a 95, so
You're
I had the
out of your mind.
I had the inline 5.
Drink more hippie sips. Yeah, the inline 5 was good. Was yours?
Was
yours a 5-speed?
I had a 95. So they didn't offer a 5-speed on the Winnebago conversions. They did on the straight up end. Now,
well, no, that's what I'm asking you. Was yours a Winnebago or a Westie or a Weekender?
No, this was mine. Mine was a pure Winnebago. So mine was the same as what you're seeing here, except it didn't have the VR6 engine.
And you didn't have to replace the transmission 4 times? That's actually a surprise.
Because I don't know. There was enough power on that inline 5. Even when I threw that turbo on there, which changed it. Driving these up, but you don't want to get there fast. You just want to stay for a long time when you get there. I went through the pictures on the inside of this thing. It is. These just don't hold up, but it's an incredibly loud of space, huge closet, and you can take a shower in the rear, and if you can get this thing at the right price, you've got a great place to grab the wife and kids and go up to the mountains for the weekend, go to a dead show.
I'm telling you, you're staying there. That VR6 is garbage. Don't do it. Don't do it. Find a 5-cylinder one like Buddha had. All right, what's it gonna bring, Deeb?
All right, so the Eurovan campers from this generation, the VR6 ones, are only bringing $18,000 according to Classic.com. JP, this car, our car, is currently sitting at just $11,300 on 33 bids, and it closes tomorrow. All of the amenities that Buddha talked about, the full kitchen, the fact that it's the VR6, and the low miles and original condition, and the fact that this isn't all modified and beat to snot, I'm shocked the opening bid wasn't $11,300. You know what I mean? Man, times have changed. Just trying to predict where this is going to sell, mine's a guess. $17,000 because I would have bet all day and every day this was a $25,000 to $30,000 van still. I can't believe that we're looking at this and it's not going to hammer for $20,000. These were bringing so much money just a few years ago. So 17 to you, JP. You're going to go over me? I dare you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 15,000. I'm just gonna go $15,000. I think if it were, I think if it were a Westfalia, the actual Volkswagen
Weekender
version. Well, no, okay, those are two different things. Like we said, a Westfalia has all the accoutrement. No. A Weekender just has the roof.
Nope. The Westfalia back in the day had all the accoutrement. In the Eurovan, the Westfalia was just the pop top. The roof was a little thinner, so you had a bed up top and a bed in the bottom, and that was it. So they called it the Westfalia.
They didn't make a full camper Westie?
Not in the U.S.
I don't know if that's true.
No, because there was actually a third camper, which was the Rialta, which was like a Class C RV stuck on the back of a Eurovan chassis.
That wasn't made by Volkswagen, was it?
No, that was made by Winnebago. So you had the Volkswagen Westfalia one with just the pop top, and this one.
So they didn't make a basic Weekender. The only way you're saying the only way to get a camper was to get it through Winnebago.
Yeah. So you could get the pop roof with the Westie pop roof. Yeah.
That's confusing, but okay. All right.
Buddha, what's your bid?
Yeah, what's your bid, Buddha?
I'm gonna say it gets the 20 because it could get the low mileage.
Even though it's only at 11 right now, huh?
That's a long way on cars and bids, but
and it could absolutely. I mean,
hey, I've been drinking 20 sips all night. Don't
it lets you see the future. It must be true. Must be true. All right, we spent way too much time on this stupid camper van. Let's move on. Sorry. What's the next car on the list, real quick?
JP, I couldn't resist when I found this 1994 Geo Tracker 4x4 running no reserve. JP, wait, it's only got 46,000 miles on it, and it's a manual transmission. The thing looks brand new in the photos. I couldn't help myself. And the guy's got the nuts to run it no reserve. Listed on Bring a Trailer out of Live Oak, California. I mean, is this not the most Radwood car we've seen in a long time? It
And
is
he's got
so
the hard shell
epic.
rear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so epically 90s. And like JP, look at that photo. It's got boxed fender flares. I'm telling you, a different set of wheels would set this thing off. I think it needs like some kind of small wheel, big knobby tire. Then, I mean, I would be ashamed to remove the graphics, but like, what a trippy little car. So I couldn't help it. And then it gets real more interesting, JP. I'm just going to dive right into the numbers because there's not a lot to talk about. It's a 1.6 liter 4x4, normally aspirated. Classic tells us the average selling price of one of these things in the secondary market, and that's not very often, is just $8,000. JP, as I hand it to you, our car is already at 10, and it's got 2 days to go until it closes. By the way, this car was first sold out of Nevada, and it's registered in California. So it's a dry car, and it just, I mean, my God, 46,000 miles. It looks like it's been in a garage this whole time. JP, any love for bringing a tracker to Mogfest next year?
This is just the Cash for Clunkers version of our show. We're just talking about nothing but pieces of crap. This thing is cute. It's fun, whatever. I think this is definitely a Zoomer car, right? I mean, and I know, look, our friend Victoria from Devoid Magazine, we've got one of her magazines laying around here, here locally, lovely young lady, actually asked me, she's like, hey, you're a car guy. I'm looking for a tracker. And I was like, oh, that's fun. She wanted something, she wanted something classic, but she didn't want a modern car, so I got to respect that. And then she says, oh, but it can't be a manual. I've only found manuals. I was like, what? And then it dawned on me, Zoomers don't know how to drive a stick. So I wonder how well this car can do, given that most of us think that the three pedals are going to be what's going to make this car valuable, but really the person that wants this is the girlfriend of a car enthusiast. So I wonder about that. What do you think, Buddha?
I love the seats. I love that pattern on the seats. And I think most of these had a soft, top convertible on that rear hatch area. This looks like it's got a hard top, with fixed glass in it. So maybe one of our bid nerds knows if that really
Look
is
how clean it is.
Like an upgrade there. I think this thing's badass.
Be a fun runabout. All right, what's it going to bring?
By the way, Lucas had one, sent us a picture. I wish we could have posted it, but a picture of him like fresh out of school. So Lucas had a
This
black
would look
tracker
really
for a long
good next
time.
to his red 348. I got to tell you, that right in period, that would be a great combo.
Very good, Lucas. Very good. Yeah, I mean, they're basically almost the same year. So our car, JP, is currently sitting at $10,000. I should say that comes to us by way of 9 bids. It closes on Friday. JP, I think this car is gonna get another $5,000. $15,000 is my price at Hammer, and I wouldn't be shocked if just 2 idiots bid it up to 20 or more. It wouldn't be the weirdest thing that's ever happened on Bring Us Trailer. But 15 to you, JP. I dare you to go over that bid.
I'm going over big.
Right.
I'm going over bigly. I'm going to go $19,999 and hand it to Buddha.
I'm going to go 16 and split you.
Man,
look at that.
Jesus.
This would be a lot of fun to rip around the desert. Okay, let us know what you guys think of the little it's not a Samurai, it's a tracker. These were in response to the Samurai because the Samurais were so popular, but everyone was falling over in the darn things because they were so teeny and kind of had a high, that high center of gravity. These were a little wider and drove much better. And
box flares.
With the box flares, so it gave it just a couple more inches on either side, and that really helped out a lot. All right, let's move on. What's the next car? What do we got?
Who doesn't want a couple more inches? JP, there is a 2005 Mercedes-Benz C55 AMG running as an alumni listing on Bring a Trailer right now. Our car has 35,000 miles from new, and our dear friend Lucas the Bid Turn stated in the notes for tonight's show that the guy has basically confessed that he doesn't have the money to keep up the maintenance on this car. He's like, I'm on a single income and I got deferred work on my house, and it's time for somebody else to take this car, and basically just confessing that he just can't keep it up anymore. So anyways, out of Alpharetta, Georgia, is what is essentially a 5.4 liter normally aspirated V8 that makes 362 horsepower paired with 376 pound-foot of torque. So, JP, this is a small 4-door sedan, but it is essentially a German muscle car. This is a torque monster. If you turn off the traction control and the stability program, you can drive this car with the throttle all day long. So if you enjoy doing burnouts, your car is ready. Also, we rarely see them with low miles. The early AMG efforts that just didn't get a lot of, all the M3s could run circles around these cars on a racetrack. But I actually think these cars on the street are still a hell of a lot of fun. This is your predecessor to your C63. And it's normally aspirated. It's got tons of torque. It's probably not the best build quality. I think the build quality of the 63s was improved over this generation of Mercedes-Benz. But for the money, this is probably a whole hell of a lot of fun. JP, this car is currently sitting at $11,250. The Classic.com average is $17,000. And as an alumni listing, this car was this guy bought the car in March of 2021. For $26,000 even. JP, this time around, he's at $11,250.
All right, what's the number? We got to close it up. What's the number? What's your number?
$22,500 at Hammer.
22,500. I'll go just under you at 21,500. Buddha, where are you at?
I'm going to go even lower because I see in the ad that the wheels tires are from 2018. You have to buy new tires. So I'm going to go 19.
Yeah, this guy we know why he didn't take good pictures. He doesn't have any money for maintenance. He's got a nice looking house. That's okay. Sell the house and
that needs
take better pictures.
Yeah,
that needs maintenance. All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. That's another episode of Bid Nodes. Thanks, Bid Nerds. Thanks to Hippie Sips, and thanks to Our Smiths up in Idaho for all of you who are traveling down here for our big event this weekend, or actually this coming Tuesday. We will see you Tuesday, and we're also going to see you right here Sunday night. We'll have one more episode before the Cars Un Creators show, whatever. I'm just mumbling. I should have drank a bunch of Hippie Sips.
Hey guys, you're probably
Aftertaste not bad. It doesn't taste bad. I wish it was fishy.
Hold on.